Everybody in? Is everybody in?
Can you hear me
Can
now?
hear it.
Yep. So you've got a V cutter.
Yeah, we got a V cutter.
I'm gonna need that.
You want the V cutter? Oh, I'm just throwing shit around. All right. 3 seconds into Unrolled, episode 11. And I've already swore.
Is it 11?
Yeah. Yeah, so we hit double digits last time.
Okay.
So we're all running a little late. We're all doing something today.
I wasn't. I'm sleeping.
Well, yeah, you're doing something today, but it was after most of us are asleep. Looked like you were out running around last night.
Episode 11.
Unrolled.
We're gonna start cutting up cigars on here, and Mike's gonna show you the cigar we're gonna cut up.
Oh, well, we're going to smoke and we're going to dissect the Undercrowned Bellicoso Maduro.
So if you're curious what's in an undercrown, stay tuned.
Hopefully it's tobacco because I'm getting ready to smoke it.
Stay tuned if you're curious what's in an undercrown, because we'll cut that up.
Our guest today.
Probably the second half's Homeless Bob.
So our guest today is Chris Hinkle. Chris comes in almost every Monday unless he's doing something dumb, because that's his day off and he enjoys a cigar and doesn't talk about work for a day. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
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 Are you awake yet? I know you had a long night.
Yeah, I'm getting there. It usually takes me a little bit, but
Yeah. Got your Red Bull.
yeah,
Do you start the day with a cigar?
I do.
Yeah, I do too.
Red Bull cigar. I got to get the blood going and the
Right.
sinuses open. And
Do you find it opens up your sinuses? Like it dries it out some and kind of.
yeah, everything starts draining and flowing. And
Absolutely right.
yeah,
You mean go get paper towels since this is your first cigar of the day?
no.
Okay.
So, what you were talking about last night?
Yeah.
That girl's stalking my daughter again, right?
So I don't know anything about this, and I don't know if you want to get into it.
So 2 years ago, this girl started stalking my daughter.
She got a thing for her, like a
yeah,
sexual stalking,
yeah.
or okay.
Yeah, and I won't get too far into it, but 2 years ago she assaulted her. I ran her down from the Bethalto Carnival. Some neighbors seen me run her down, called the police, rightfully so.
Wait. So run her down as in?
I chased her.
Okay.
I went after her.
Right.
We don't call the police.
Right. Well, no.
And because the police don't do nothing.
Right.
So, they really can't. So everybody knows the thing about getting an OP is, getting an OP pretty much guarantees you're going to get stabbed.
Well, it
Because
guarantees.
a piece of paper don't stop nothing.
No, it guarantees you get a piece of paper.
Right.
And paper beats rock.
Right. It doesn't even beat rock, actually.
No, actually, it'll go right through.
But
So this flared back up. It subsided
so
for.
I chased her down. The neighbor called the cops. Cops show up. But rightfully so from the neighbor. I was never mad at the neighbor about that. And I even told the neighbor, I was like, hey, good on you. That was a situation. If ever you need to call the cops on a situation that's not your own, that was it. Some grown man chasing a girl down the street. And I said, so the cops show up.
Tinder was wild in the beginning.
Right. And I said, it was some caveman shit.
Right. Come back to my cave.
But I said I wasn't gonna call the cops on her because I didn't want her to get in trouble. I just wanted to talk to her. Just
Right.
wanted to tell her, hey,
Knock it off.
not the right one.
Mm-hmm.
You maybe want to find somebody else to screw with, because not the right one over here. So it flares back up. So we go to the cops. Sarah calls the cops last night. So we end up going up to the cops. And it's even worse this time. Like, the shit she's saying and stuff. It's
Right.
like way, way worse.
You have it all documented, like it's via text.
Well, yeah,
or-
but they can't do nothing.
Right.
We're gonna go get so they can't do anything.
Right.
So I got her on camera underneath the girl's car.
Right.
You can't do if you drive down the street and see me crawl out from underneath the car, I'd go to jail.
Yeah. Well, you go to jail for anything.
And the cop looks at me, and I say that, and the cop looks at me and goes, well, it depends. I go, no, it doesn't. You know it.
Right.
I said, I crawl out from underneath the car. I go to jail. Straight to jail. I don't pass go. I don't even get a phone call because phones don't work in that son of a bitch no more.
Right.
And so last night we came out, we picked up that car, and I thought, I think somebody needs to see how it feels to be the mouse. she can come up to my house, and it's not illegal. I got her on camera walking all over my property. It's not illegal.
Right.
Well, she lives in an apartment,
Right.
so I'm not even going to be on her property at all.
Right.
I can just go up there and walk around. It's not illegal.
Right.
So I went up there and hung out. She seen me. I waved at her.
Yeah. That was it?
Listened to the radio out in her parking lot in the car.
An incognito car or the
at
daughter's?
all. Not at all.
Oh, you took
in the daughter's car.
Yeah, so make the point.
Not incognito at all.
Nice.
Sometimes you need to let your
talk-
presence be known.
Talk to the neighbors. Oh yeah, that's the whole point.
Right.
Talk to so as soon as I waved at her, because they were peeking at me through a little thing.
Right.
And so she was outside when I was pulling up. So
Right.
I'd seen her. I knew for sure she was there. And they
Right.
were looking at me through a little thing, and I waved. Every light in the apartment off. How's that help you? I already know you're here.
Right. You see better.
So here's the most funniest part about it. I'm sitting there listening to the radio, and I've already talked to the neighbor, and I'm just wondering how long it's going to take, right?
Right.
Because I have a goal
Right.
here in mind, and I just wonder how long it's going to take. Cops pull up.
Yeah.
Oh, I just started laughing. I walked over to that car. He's laughing because they're very, 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 very familiar with her.
Right.
He's laughing, and he goes, "What are you doing?" And I go, "I just listen to the radio." I said, "Well, I can't be here." She was at my house at 3:30 in the morning. It's only 10 o'clock at night. I can't be at her house at 10 o'clock at night.
Right.
And he goes, "What are you trying to accomplish?" And I looked at him, and I leaned in real close because I don't know, I was feeling kind of creepy. You know what I mean? I was feeling kind of psychotic by this point, and I leaned in kind of close, and I go, "I just thought maybe somebody would like to know what it was like to be the mouse." And he just starts laughing, and he goes, "You didn't do nothing wrong." And I go, "I ain't left the side of my car until you pulled up." And he goes, "Okay." I go, I sent her some text messages, and I sent him some text messages, showed him the text messages, which weren't nothing like,
Right.
Why'd you turn the lights off?
Right.
Duh.
Right.
And,
Just saying, I see you.
and right. And
They
he
had
goes,
to go lay down.
right. He
Time for
goes,
bed.
He goes, "You shouldn't have done that." And then he goes, "Well, I'm going to go talk to her." And I go, "Hey, mention how ironic it is that she called the police.
Right.
I mean, that's got to be funny, right?" And he goes, "That's why I was laughing when I pulled up." and the other cop, who has a very familiar name to me,
Yeah.
the other cop who has a very familiar name, he comes from St. Louis. He's Mr. Serious.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "Buddy, you're not in St. Louis no more. You can calm down.
Right. Take your sweatband off, bro. It
Be
ain't-
okay.
Yeah, it ain't that
You
real.
can take
over
it down a
here.
couple notches. You're a Masalto, man."
Hey, we didn't turn on any lights. Do we need them on?
We didn't turn on any lights. I don't. It's the... Nah, we don't.
Okay. We don't want to see Chris that well anyway.
We don't want to up production value of this show. But that's what you were talking about. That's what
Yeah.
I was taking selfies out in front of her.
Yeah, you looked a
apartment.
little creepy taking
I
the
was
selfies,
taking-
man.
I was taking
saw
pictures.
that.
I was taking pictures of their license plates. I was
Just being seen.
I'm making a scene. Well, not really making a scene. I really didn't want to bother nobody else in the complex. But I
Right.
wanted for sure to bother her. And then the neighbor come out. The neighbor was friendly as could be. I just thought the neighbor should know what kind of people
Yeah.
she's living next to.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
doing the civil service.
When I worked at Aaron's, I used to write on people's doors, like, hey, call Aaron's.
You owe me money.
So that way, all the neighbors in the complex, when they're going through the halls, they could see that this person doesn't pay their bills.
I'm
And
like, damn it, he's coming for mine next.
so the friend of mine was moving into one of these places, and he was moving a couch in, and I drew an arrow. I said, "This person doesn't pay their bills." I wrote it on the fire extinguisher in the hall. So this dude was moving a couch into this apartment, and he calls me, and he goes, "Man," he goes, "I think we called them nons. They're non-renewals, non-payments, So he goes,
Right.
"I think I'm moving into a non-apartment because your handwriting on the fire extinguisher in a Sharpie." I was like, man. So Chris, now we're done with story time.
Yeah.
Good morning. Feeling a little better?
Yeah.
Give time for homeless Dave here to wake up.
Right.
Yeah.
Hipster Hinkle.
Hipster Hinkle owns a beautiful tattoo studio. Would you say Alton's Premier?
Yeah.
Alton's Premier.
I try. Yeah.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
What are
Do
the
what I
hours
can.
there?
1 to 2, Chuck.
1 to 2. What is the hour?
Yeah, right. Sometimes it feels like from AM to PM, but
Right,
you know,
right.
it has its moments.
Yeah. How long you been? So you started in one location and moved to this one. When did you move to this location and lost all your savings?
Right. I want to say 2016. There's been so much going on.
Sure.
in
It's
the
been there before
meantime.
2016, wasn't it?
Well, it was under a different name in a different location before that.
Yeah, it was Gato Negro before. I had a business partner, and then ultimately ended up buying him out and changing the name and moving to downtown.
Which was tons and tons of red tape and opposition.
Yeah, it was about
And you,
a year-long struggle with the city, and yeah, just a lot of red tape, a lot of political learning and
Yeah.
stuff like that. Stuff that
Where was Gato Negro at?
Gato Negro's by Pizza Hut up on the Beltline.
yeah.
Oh,
Omar
okay. Yeah,
Adams.
yeah.
When did you open there? 2011?
No, 08.
08.
The announcement of the recession.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah. So you're a pretty smart guy too.
Yeah. Funny thing about opportunity is it's never at an opportune time. So, you gotta do what you gotta do. But just making it work, trying to keep everything moving forward, and always build bigger and better.
Yeah.
So,
The studio went, or your
Wait.
Yeah.
Did you just say always build back
No,
no,
better?
no.
bigger and better.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, you can sue the government for copyright infringement.
all right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna tell you, calm down, Brandon.
Nah, I try to leave the politics alone, man. That's a bigger,
We don't talk
bigger
about 'em.
game than me.
We don't talk about him.
You know what's fantastic, I think, about you and your studio is the lack of social media posts. You're still busy. There's still guns going.
Yeah.
It's just reputation. It's word of mouth. You see these other places, man, and they're gonna show you the underboob that they tattooed and this and that, and
Yep.
you figured out a long time ago. Likes don't always mean dollars, and I think that's why I liked you so much, is that you keep your head down, you do your thing, you don't get in anybody else's business, even when it's time to talk a little smack. It's still I don't know. I don't even know how many years I've known you. I don't even know when I got my first tattoo from you.
It's been a minute. I was fortunate enough to come in and got a little bit of a older school mentality about how things are supposed to be, and I really try to walk that line and keep it that way. I feel like, if you do things that are merited is good, you shouldn't have to do a bunch of jazz hands and the song and dance and the selfie game and all that. And I never wanted to be that. I didn't get into it for that. I got into it because I actually enjoyed it. And either you like it or you don't, man. Like, everybody's got their thing, and I do my thing my way. And hey, man, you're more than welcome to do what you do. And
Right.
I'm not gonna
What's
speak
your?
out.
Oh, you can finish.
I'm not gonna speak out on it. Do what you do. If it works, it works. I'm not gonna down talk it. So.
Was your first tattoo ink pen cartridge and a tape cassette motor?
Yeah, and it was friends and 16 years old, and yeah.
No, so it was even before.
Yeah, it was before, and at the time I had, it wasn't even a career goal or a thought. It was just a few punk kids hanging out, thinking that it would be cool to do that, and
I got one like that.
we had our fun with it for 5 minutes, and that's the last time I thought of it. And next thing I know, 10, 15 years down the line, I'm
You're slinging ink.
slinging ink, hunchback.
Right.
So it's funny how life goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The transformation of the building that you did down there, you took a standard Alton building that probably should be demolished, and
Just because yours should have been demolished doesn't mean all of them should have been demolished.
yeah, it's like you wouldn't think a cigar guy and a tattoo guy would have a lot in common, but then when you get into the real estate and rentals and life and business and bills, and you come to find out everybody that owns a business is in the same war together, and no matter what the thing is that you're selling, it's just it's all the same stuff. You gotta budget right. You gotta do this. You gotta do that. Blah blah. But you took a building, and during this, before Alton had its attention from a TV show, you just shoved your money into this building, kind of just all on your own, and you turned so like I'm putting lipstick on a pig. I know I am, but you actually turned the pig into some beautiful bacon, and so I don't know, man. It's from the just driving by, it looks beautiful. You've done a great job, man. Nobody can take that away from you. And then what was great for me, because the opposition that you had, I think was the opposition of a lot of growth a lot of people in the town had. And then the next thing you know, your building is outshining everybody else that spoke against you getting a license down there. So, yeah. And I know you don't talk about it, but I do, and I'm proud of it, man.
That's street painting, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
Well, now we're artsy downtown.
Yeah.
But Hinkle kind of brought the revolution to that sector of street.
I don't know. I think somebody disagree with you on that.
No, Hinkle
street painting, no.
Hinkle started it, and Hinkle started that whole thing.
So I did notice that it does. Like the antique shops have like better looking signage now than they used to.
Yeah.
Some of them, not all of them.
Right.
But, I have noticed there's better signage, better storefront.
I think everybody downtown is caring. I think everybody. So you get a guy that comes through and he's investing a lot of money in downtown, and that kind of gets everybody's hopes going. So then everybody's going to take that page. And if they want to draw the customers, they're going to have to step it up. And so, like I said, I think Hinkle was a crusader. He started that section of downtown. I don't call it downtown, but whatever. You guys call it whatever. And and then here comes this influx of money. Here comes a coffee shop. Here comes, the other place closed. The pawn shop closed. And now there's so much.
Pawn shops closed. There was one on the corner across from him, and then there was one down
the street
where your buddies. Well, not where your buddies are, but close.
Yeah,
to them.
yeah. So they that one didn't last very long. So I mean, Alton went from having multiple pawn shops on the road that was kind of seedy, and in my lifetime, it's turned around and looks beautiful. Like I talked to Hinkle one time about maybe putting a cigar shop right there. It's just it wasn't the right time for me to go in right there, and now that space is freaking booming.
Yeah, music store.
Yeah, all music exchange, rocking and rolling.
I'm in cahoots with Jared Humphrey. He's the owner of Alton Music Exchange, and we got another little side gig going and doing some repairs and hopefully getting into manufacturing and into some music gear and equipment. And that's been the last year-long venture. It's being held up a little bit via the COVID shipping issues and parts, acquiring parts and stuff like that. So I would have liked it to jump off a little quicker, but, it is what it is, and you just got to take it how it comes. And, I'm sure it'll all come at the same time, and I'll be running around with my head on fire trying to figure stuff out as usual. And,
a lot of hair there to burn.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big fire. It's going to smell terrible.
No, I'm growing it out for it. If we're going to go big, man. Make a spectacle of it.
I like how you have the motorcycle braid in when there's still snow and ice on the ground.
I'm waiting.
Yeah.
I'm waiting.
Yeah,
Yep.
I can't wait. When are we going to Oklahoma? June?
I believe it's the end of June, mid-June.
This is going to be a dry, beautiful
Can't be the
ride.
end of June.
Yeah. After the last
I'm
one,
not
I
the
feel we're deserved a nice ride
Flawless.
down there.
A
Yeah.
flawless victory would be fantastic. 500 miles in the rain.
I have a feeling it'll probably be a heat wave. We're gonna get the opposite end of the spectrum.
I'm good with that.
You know?
I'm better with heat than 40 degrees and rain for 500 miles.
Yeah.
That was
It wasn't in June last year, though, was it?
No.
April, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was April.
End of March, beginning of April.
Yeah.
It looked real promising when we left. It really did. We were having a great time. I mean, so much so that we decided to be kind of leisurely about
Yeah.
it.
Yep.
Lesson learned.
Shit is hauled ass.
If the weather's good, you just
Ride.
you keep on it. You keep
Yeah,
on
but
it till
you
you're
know,
there.
we decided to stop for a beer and a cigar and stay the night, take it easy, and we paid for it the next
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
That was probably the most miserable ride in 30 years of riding. That was probably my most miserable ride. I didn't know that the body could get so cold where it doesn't move.
Yeah, no,
That
it
was neat.
completely locks up to the point where you can't even get off the damn bike.
Nope.
So
Nope. Then we run into a town. We're in Ponco.
Ponca City.
Yeah, we go into Ponco. we missed the turn for the. I heard it beep in my ear, right? Because I had the GPS on and I had it strapped to my head somehow. Anyway, I heard it beep in my ear to turn, and that wasn't happening. I needed warmth, and I made the executive decision that we're gonna keep going into town.
No, it was a great one.
And so we get in this town, and it looks just desolate. I mean, it looks so terrible. I mean, the gas station didn't even have an attendant, and it had 2 pumps, and hopefully it works.
Whole lot of no-tell motels.
Yeah, so
booked.
then we find a casino, right? And we're like, holy cow. We're on Indian
casino.
Res. Yeah, Indian Res. So we walk in, man, we looked like sewer rats. Like there was nothing pretty about anything on us. We were literally drenched. Like we rang out socks at the McDonald's in Oklahoma over the turnpike. We tried to get off the turnpike, but the road had so much water on it that we were just hydroplaning around, and semi trucks were literally blowing us all over. It was the scariest, crappiest ride. So we get in this hotel, and I'm like, yeah, just room, 2 beds. And they're like, do you have a reservation? No, it's a casino.
We're on one.
So and I'm like, would you check again? Like now I'm getting mad.
Right.
So we just ride into town a little more. We find another hotel and we just sit down.
They really didn't have no rooms?
They had no
No.
rooms. There's a refinery there,
Turn around.
Oh,
and they're doing a
turnaround.
turnaround. So we sat in the second hotel lobby, just drenched, just dripping water. I mean, there was a pond of water underneath of us, and I'm just calling people, and then the whole time I'm just shaking.
Shaking, dude.
You can't stop shaking. So we find a Holiday Inn that's got a room, and they got one, and the guy left me on hold for 65 seconds. It was way too long. I said, screw it, we're going.
No, we went. Yeah.
So yeah, we get there, and this knucklehead wanted to have a card here, man. I just smacked him. Give us the key, Jesus, man. Do we look like we want to fucking sit here? Oh, dang. So anyway, beep. What was that? 24 minutes.
24 minutes.
Sorry.
Man, that's good.
So so we stayed there, and then I called some diner, and I talked the diner into bringing us steaks, bringing us a 6-pack of beer, and it was probably the most delicious food I've ever eaten in my life.
Yep.
The driver, they don't even have delivery. I just told them, I'm like, hey, we just rode, in this rain. Please bring us food. Like we don't want to move. Like
Right.
just bring us food. So they did, and I tipped them very well.
Right.
Yeah, anything other than what we were doing would have been great, man. Usually I keep my standards real low, so, typically never disappointed. But then I would have been happy with a car. Like, if somebody would have been like, hey, man, jump in real quick, I would have been like this on the heater vent. Like, it wouldn't have mattered.
There was not even an overpass to take shelter. There was
Nothing.
not. I was scoping out barns just to live in. Like I was done.
Yeah. We were seeing homesteads
Yeah.
off in the distance, wondering like we're gonna pull up in these drives and might get shot at. But,
Yeah.
yeah.
It might be what. Well, I mean, the hospital would be warm once we got
Yeah.
there. Like it was so. We
Still
were.
warm.
It was that bad. Like I'm gonna
They
kidnap
would have
some
brought
people.
you heated blankets.
Yeah, I was gonna kidnap somebody just to have their house for a minute. Like I was. It was insanely tough.
In the wind, man, like you would have to hug the right side of the lane and just lean in. And
While it's covered in water. Literally the worst ride.
it would blow you into oncoming traffic. Like it was insane. It was probably the dumbest thing that we've ever tried to do. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Great time though. Once we got there, man, the people were awesome. Everybody that was there rode through that the previous day, so everybody was kind of looking at each other like, right on, man. Everybody made it.
Yeah, you're soldiers.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
good.
Definitely crazy. I'm excited for a June ride. So,
Yeah.
I think that's right before their tornado season. So,
No, that's at the end.
is that at the end?
Yep.
June?
That'll be our ride home.
Right at the end. June is right at the end.
I'm going to take a GoPro so I can get that funnel cloud behind us.
Hey, man, that's not like I wish we had one then, man, because I know we tell it, but I know people just don't get it.
No.
If they could see it, they'd be like, "You guys are idiots."
Yeah. It's that's a common theme around here is we're all idiots. You should have seen me trying to get that trailer out of the snow with my two-wheel drive truck this morning.
Oh, was it? It was buried.
Well, yeah, and then it was all ice around it. So
Right.
the two-wheel drive just sat there and moved the trailer against the building over and over and over. So finally I just sent it, and I didn't care, and it got out. So I got all 6 of those cabinets loaded this morning.
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about that. And they looked at that truck last night, and he come in and he goes, "Well, I think the brakes are bad." And I go, "Well, I'll drive it home and I'll find out." And so I drove it home. As soon as I went to pull out the lot, I was like, "Yeah, the brakes are bad."
Fair enough.
So,
Fair enough. It is what it is.
well, I figured, well, I'll drive it. I'll drive it home anyway. So maybe they're not bad. Maybe it's just they feel worse than they are because I'm not used to the truck.
Right.
No, they're bad. They're
That's
bad.
not good. We'll get that fixed for him. So,
I mean, they pump right back up. All you got to do is hit them once, and then they're there.
right.
But they go like from here to the stoplight, gone
Right.
again.
Oh.
So
Fair enough.
they don't hold at all.
Maybe a little low on fluid.
There's air in it somewhere.
So,
I don't mind a little fault in a vehicle. It keeps you in the moment, keeps you paying attention to what's
Especially when it's
going
brakes.
on. I feel like manual cars should really come back. It makes you have to drive the car and pay attention, man. Like,
right.
I don't know, not at all. I had
No?
lots of manuals. Once I learned how to drive a manual, I had lots of manuals, and I still did
Yeah.
the same dumbass shit.
yeah, well,
So
No,
I mastered the art of driving with my knee
yeah, well, yeah.
because I was typically the one that drove, and I was also the only one that could roll a joint. So I mastered that art. Like I tell people all the time that distracted driving thing. That's not for my generation.
No.
That's for the ones under me. That's not for my generation. We can do it all, bud. We don't need that.
I got a George Foreman grill. I make sandwiches and stuff while I'm driving.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Plug it in.
I had a friend back in the day. Me and you went to the same high school, just different years.
Yeah.
He had one arm. He drove an El Camino and stuff, and he would roll driving with his knee, one arm. And I'm like in the passenger side just watching what's going on, and I'm like, dude, I can hold the wheel anytime
What?
you need it.
Right.
And like
No,
he's like,
no.
nah, I got it. And I'm like, good enough,
I mean,
bro.
if you
let's
had
do
to,
this.
if you had to dig for something, if you had to actually go digging, you'd let your buddy grab the wheel and he'd,
Sure.
Yeah.
steer
Yeah.
for a little while. But
But nah, he had it under control, man.
Which
Yeah.
arm was missing?
Well, his nickname was Lefty.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it was his left arm?
Yeah. it was something to see, and you know, driving around, being young, you know, we'd hang out the corner and up at Hit and Run and stuff like that.
Oh, so that
and
was still
lunch,
open.
and-
So you were right after me then.
No, I would have been graduated in '94.
Yeah, I would have graduated in '97, so that was only 3 years.
Yeah.
That was right after.
Yep.
Because they went closed campus in what? Shortly thereafter, they went closed campus.
Yeah.
We used to, in the street racing, we had a guy, he had a short arm.
Before me, actually. If you would have graduated in '94, that's before. I was after you. Yeah.
We had, so his name was John, or Short Arm John, and so he wanted to be a racer, and he buys a manual car, and so when you're behind him watching, you could see him just dipping to shift because it was his right arm. The dude would be dipping. You know, I'm like, just stay down there, bro. Like, you know, but he couldn't have a short throw shifter because he couldn't reach it. So.
You went to school with Billy. Billy and Dave. You know Dave. You got to know Dave Street.
Possibly, yeah. Dude, it's been so long. And that, like, I left school probably my second semester of sophomore year, and I had already been to 3 high schools before that. We moved around a lot. Ultimately, I just got tired of being a new kid in school, and
I just got tired of being in school.
well, and then there's that too. But I'm sure if it would have been a stable, you know, I went to school with people and all that, it would have probably, I would have lasted longer. But I just got tired of the same shit, man.
And then every time I went to school, I would be in school.
Yeah.
In school detention.
In school suspension. In school. I just quit going to those things. I learned that if you don't show up to the class, when they catch you, they suspend you. Suspend you. And hell, I don't want to be there any damn way.
Right.
Yeah.
So I just wouldn't go to in-school suspension. I'd go to my classes.
I would get busted out after lunch because I was fortunate enough to have mid-study hall. So we just took all 3 periods of lunch.
I
and
had
then,
4 study halls.
yeah,
By the end of my sophomore year, I was in 4 study halls.
yeah.
Never studied.
No, I slept the whole time.
We had this math teacher, Mr. Harmon.
I remember we had Mr. Harmon. I had
yeah.
Mr. Harmon.
Right after lunch, I would come back and he'd be like, "Oh, well, Mr. Hinkle's been out smoking again," and
Yep.
he was referring to me,
Yep.
I guess, smoking weed.
Smoking
and,
your lunch.
Yep.
That's what he
and
loved to say. He loved to say that.
It was like, man, thanks for putting me on blast, bro.
Did you have Mr. George too? English.
English, probably. Yeah.
Mr. George.
I don't even remember him because
Mr. George was actually pretty cool. He was a dick in school, but outside of school, he was actually pretty cool. He was an alright guy.
the only classes I really liked in there were the shops, like
Yep.
drafting and shop class and
Yep.
stuff like that. Those are the
Mr.
ones.
Pat.
Yeah. And then
Mr. McGee in his one lab coat.
when we did the driving, they had those silly ass driving simulators. Did they still have those?
Yep.
They played a little movie and you sat in a little booth with the car and stuff.
Really?
Like,
Yep.
yeah, dude, it
We
was
didn't
silly.
have that.
You
It was silly.
You got to see Blood on the Asphalt too, didn't you?
Yeah.
I was the last driver's ed class that got to see Blood on the Asphalt.
Oh, really?
Yep.
It was like this LTD, like, dude, big wheel, like,
Yep.
yeah, it was
Really?
silly, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Dyer.
Yeah.
Yep. I flipped out on Mr. Dyer. We were coming up Vaughn Hill. I was driving. We were coming up Vaughn Hill. And I'd been driving since I was 13. I used to steal my mom's Cadillac and go see my girlfriend over on 9th Street, 10th Street, in my mom's Cadillac when I was like 13, 14. And I didn't grow till I was like 20 something. So I could barely drive that Cadillac. And grow, right. But we were coming up Vaughn Hill, and I went off the road a little bit. Well, I didn't jerk it. Dude, you go off the road a little bit, the best thing to do is easy correction.
Yeah.
You don't just jerk the wheel over. Well, so I was easily correcting, and I guess I wasn't going fast enough. He locked that brake up, and that was back when Vaughn Hill was dangerous. He locked that brake up and jerked that car over. I lost my mind on him. I got out, slammed the car door, threatened to kick his ass, pull him out the car. I lost my mind because he scared me.
Right.
You know what I mean? He startled me. And we got back and took me to Mr. Beck's office. I just walked on my own. He didn't take me. I already knew where I was going. And we got to Mr. Beck's office, and he said, he's not allowed to be, I want him out of my class, blah, blah, blah. And I looked at Mr. Beck in the eyes, and I go, I'm going to get my license. I said, I'm going to be here till I get my license. And Mr. Beck, I swear, true story, Mr. Beck goes, we're going to give you your permit. You're going to leave after this year, right? And I wasn't even that bad of a kid, man. I mean, I really wasn't. I was a pain in the ass because I did whatever I wanted to do. I just did what I wanted to do. I didn't like burglarize things and vandalize things. I just did whatever I wanted. I wouldn't listen to nobody. I learned in late in my freshman year that they couldn't make me do anything I didn't want to do.
Yeah.
They could not force me to do anything. So that sentences, you can't make me write these sentences. I'm going to sit up here and take a nap.
Yeah. Nah, I had a real problem with authority coming up too. So
I think we all did.
Well, it was just in Bethalto though. So the problem with Bethalto, and still the problem with Bethalto, is they're a sports school.
Right.
So the jocks get they don't get in trouble. They don't get.
Sure.
I mean, if you've seen Varsity Blues, the Bethalto is I used to tell people, dude, that's the high school I went to.
Right.
Because it was damn close enough.
Yeah.
So.
Highland was even worse, man. Like Highland Bulldogs, like all them farm boys up there and stuff like that.
Yeah,
man,
so you get more rural, it gets worse, I imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go start getting more and more and more rural, it's going to get much worse.
If you weren't born and raised there, you didn't belong,
Nope.
bro. And they were not shy about letting you know.
Yeah.
And it was,
everybody. PD, the people,
Yeah.
everybody.
It was a country road at the end of every day, man. 3 o'clock, Dick Road.
You gonna write a song?
Buffalo Road.
You going to write a song?
It could be, man. It could be a busted ass country song.
No, it was the bridge in Meadowbrook.
Yeah.
Is that where you fought?
That's where everybody wants to fight.
Yeah.
Usually, if I got in a fight, it was walking right outside of the school because.
Well, why wait?
I'm not going to Meadowbrook.
Right. Why are we driving to this?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's tough
If
to
you're
do.
so mad, let's do it right here.
Right.
I went to Jerseyville for 1 year. That was just a huge sports town. Like, the whole town turned out for pep rallies. Like,
But yeah,
80,
Bethalto does
80 90-year-old people turned out for pep rallies. It was just wild. Like, never been to a pep rally. I'm not going to a pep rally.
that. But Bethalto's
Does
standing
anything
room
about
only.
me look like a pep rally?
Right.
Right. Bethalto's standing room only at a football game.
I was kind of preppy though back then. Always wearing polo and had more subs than friends.
Yeah.
That was the 90s though. You're supposed to have more subs than friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bethalto was terrible, man. If you weren't a jock, you were garbage.
Yeah.
The teachers treated you that way.
Yep.
I mean, there was a couple of cool teachers that were all right, but for the most part, the teachers treated you that way, and all the other the kids are going to treat you that way. They're getting away with it.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's the same thing. Everybody had a famous last name
Yeah.
up there, and then I showed up. I was like, I don't care. I'm just here to steal your girl. So
Yeah, right.
so I started selling pot.
yeah, that helps.
And so a couple of jocks liked me,
Sure.
because I was selling pot,
Right.
and then that made a couple of the other ones hate me even more,
Right.
because why are you hanging out with that dude? You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
right.
And then we had lights like this in the bathroom, and I put a glow in the dark condom. Me and a couple of jocks put a glow in the dark condom over this fluorescent light, right? And I'm not even thinking about it, I wasn't thinking about it catching fire. I was just thinking about when they turn the lights off,
It'll glow.
it'll glow.
Right.
That'll be
Right, yeah.
funny. And it was right across from the office. It
Yeah.
was at lunch hour. And so we were all seen leaving. All of us were seen leaving.
Right.
And it caught fire. And I was the only one that got in trouble.
No.
I was the
course.
only one.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting in the office, and I'm not snitching, right? But I'm sitting in the office going, how did I reach it? How did I get up there? And I just kept saying that the whole time. So,
Right.
well, how did I get up there?
It's like, man, can you do a little bit of math?
Right.
Like,
Right. I'm 4'5". How did I reach that light bulb?
The good old days.
I got suspended one
those were
time.
the days.
I got suspended one time because the kid set my hair on fire. I got suspended. Not him. I got suspended.
You know, and it just makes you disrespect authority more.
Yeah, just makes you like.
Because whenever you're treated unfairly,
this is
like,
what's up. This is what's up.
Yeah, exactly right.
The day I quit though was legend. I still got a buddy who still talks about the day I quit.
Yeah.
Oh man, I slammed the door so hard. Mr. Beck had this big copper eagle on the wall. Big copper eagle on the wall. And Mr. Beck was drunk. Had a fifth of whiskey in his drawer. And he come in, and Mr. Dickey had escorted me down, and he tried to pin me against the wall to yell at me, and I shoved him. And so I was in trouble.
Right.
And for once, I was actually really, truly in trouble. And so I got up. Mr. Beck was in his office. They put me in his office to keep me from ranting and raving and talking to my buddy who was out there and going on, keep me from amping myself up more.
Right.
Because I was already mad.
Right.
And so I sat down in his office, and I got his fifth of whiskey out, and I took the top off. I didn't drink any of it, but I sure did make it look like I was sitting there drinking it. And took the top off of it. He comes in, and he starts yelling. He sees that, and he starts yelling even more.
Right.
And I go, and I just, I'm out.
Right.
I'm done. You can shove it up here. And I just flipped out on him. And then when I walked out, when I slammed that door so hard the eagle fell and bent it all. And my buddy had to go in after me because my buddy was there waiting. He had to go in after me. And I was parking in teacher parking right out front.
Right.
And because they're not towing my car.
Right.
They're not towing cars. So I was parking in teacher parking right out front in the same Cadillac.
Right.
That I had been driving forever.
Right.
And I walked out the door. I laid into that Cadillac, just out there in the park. And then I didn't even back up far enough. I threw it in drive and laid pedal down again, up over the curb, black marks, tore all the grass up, off out through the speed. And he's like, dude, I still remember that to this day. When we quit high school. And then I went up and hung out at the corner every day. Anyway, because that's where all my friends were.
Right. That's the one thing about sucks about leaving school is you're solo, bro.
Everybody else is still there.
All your homies don't get home till 3:30. Like you gotta occupy your time with soap operas and stupid shit. So when you win, sometimes you lose.
Right. Well, it didn't take long. I had buddies that had moved away, and it didn't take long to hook back up with them because they weren't going to school anymore either. So, and then there was buddies that were still in school. It didn't take long to be like, dude, school sucks. Come on, let's go do this instead. Now, free pot will influence a teenager.
I think I got a lucky in on that because all my friends I knew previous to me actually going to Bethalto, they were doing that. They were all in the game, and when I went to school, it was like, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. Meantime, all the other newbie freshmen and stuff like that were getting trash canned in the little locker corridors and stuff like that. And
well, I never got trash canned or anything because I knew seniors.
Yeah.
I had seniors that I grew up with their brothers, and they were like, you don't touch him.
Yeah.
Sophomore year was actually worse because then they were gone.
Oh.
and all the guys that they remembered.
Yeah.
That I was untouchable for my whole freshman year.
Yeah.
And so they would kind of get at me a little bit. Not real bad, but a little. I got a little bit my sophomore year.
Look how all that's gone now.
Yeah.
Now it's all done online.
Yeah.
No, they didn't. I'm a strong believer, man. Hazing needs to come back, man. You need to let people know where they're at and what they need to be doing.
Not even. I wouldn't say let them know where they're at. I would say more like it's just part of growing up. Yeah. Because if you don't listen, you're gonna eat shit as an adult constantly.
Yep.
So you might as well learn how to eat it while you're in high school.
Yeah. Because if your first time eating shit is
as an adult, and there's a problem. You're gonna have a problem.
You're gonna crack.
Yeah.
And you're gonna need therapy.
Right.
But if you grow up eating shit, you just know how to deal with it.
You walk right through it.
Yeah, you know how to deal with it.
You walk right through that boss. That's a dick.
Look
you
at
don't even pay attention to it.
Look at what we go through now as adults.
Yeah, dude.
And it's like, like I'm in a new stress level that I haven't been in before, and it's like now the next job is going to be even easier.
Yeah, definitely. Every struggle definitely prepares you for the next, man. Like that's why my stress level's pretty down most of the time, and I get into situations where I feel like an average person would be ripping their hair out, and it's just like it's gonna land how it's gonna land, man. Like it's just what are you gonna do when it does?
Yeah, the only thing you can control is your reaction to it.
Yeah. So.
See, I had
and you don't learn that in school anymore because they've sheltered them so much.
Yeah.
So when I was a freshman, I had a really cool tactic not to get hazed so much. I was just fat, so it was hard for people to pick me up and throw me in the trash can. I saw it plenty of times, but I just never, I was just too heavy. So
I didn't have that luxury. I'm still.
Yeah, Chuck being 5'5" running around, man. I'm surprised he wasn't dunked all the time.
I wasn't even 5'5". I fit in the locker.
You fit in the locker.
I fit in the locker. But it never happened. I never got that. So
yeah.
I had the old Mike Patton haircut, and in CM they banned you weren't allowed to wear hats in CM. So what would happen to me my sophomore year is the ones that remembered would walk by while I was eating lunch and just kind of reach over and grab my hair a little.
What's the Mike Patton haircut?
Slide back, like I just had, just the top, just the top,
yeah.
real long,
little F-boy style,
skate boy, yeah.
No,
it was the
thing.
Mike Patton.
It was the '90s thing, That's what was going on.
I just had a rat tail.
Right. I had cut that off in junior high.
Yeah.
Well, private school, we couldn't have hair past our collar, so all us rebellious boys, we grew the rat tail so we could hide it. So, and then there was no rules against shaving logos.
You got the lines.
Ice baby.
Yeah,
All
so,
right.
We had 2-3 lines on our eyebrows, American flag, put it on the side of your head. So, because we had the old school barbershop up on Milton Road. So, we go there, and you're like, yeah, man, I want the Nike swoosh,
Right.
So
eyebrow cuts.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I tried that on my own one time. It worked. It worked real well. I cut them all. So I won't do that anymore.
I did it once. My eyebrows are so thin it just looked like I shaved half of my eyebrow off. That was the last.
I shaved all my eyebrows off one time and dyed my hair bright red. I got a whole ounce out of that, buddy.
But was it Halloween?
So no. I walked around looking like a Chucky doll for about a month.
You didn't go into a Batman movie, did you?
Nope. No, I walked around looking like a Chucky doll for about a month. But really, he won. The guy who bet me.
Right.
Jesus, that was loud. I heard that echo. But really, he won. The guy that bet me because I smoked it all with him. So really, I mean,
it's awesome.
we all sat in the same place and smoked it. My prize for doing
Right.
it. So I didn't care. It didn't bother me at all.
We didn't do any of that. Like,
I had blue hair, purple hair, green hair.
I think in the early 2000s, I had some frosted tips. Basically, I thought I'd be blonde for a minute. I think there was a lot of club going at that time. So
raves were big, man.
I had so much product in my hair, and then I had spiky frosted tips. I never wore my visor backwards and upside down, but I always liked racing the kids that did, so just make them look a little extra stupid.
You never went full B-Rad.
I did not go full B-Rad, but I was really trying. There's every now and then I'll come across a photo.
You never go full B-Rad.
Yeah, I'm like 280 pounds with blonde spiky hair. Like I'm like Guy Fieri's child.
And you're looking at that going, and I was cool.
Yeah, I thought I was cool as hell.
I was cool.
I'm gonna go get frosted tips next
That's
week.
just like
Bringing it back.
Bringing it back.
I realize now what we look like stoned. Like it just dawned on me the other night what we look like stoned.
Yeah.
I think it was when I was watching them One Wheel videos.
Oh
them
yeah,
races.
yeah. Them
It
dudes.
just dawned on me what I looked like when I was high as shit. I was like, man, is that what we look like?
It's just
My
goofy.
God.
I was like, whoa, bro.
Oh man.
I think the last time I got high, I was in North City like not the best part of North City. And for some reason, we had to go to the gas station, and for some reason, I drove, and it was one of those gas stations where there's more people outside than there was getting gas, like on foot. So it was like Penrose area, Grand, Penrose, like, kind of murder capital.
That's what that gas station up Alton was like. Used to be like all the time.
Really?
In the summertime, it's still like that. I think up on College.
Oh yeah, yeah.
College in Washington.
Yeah.
Washington, yeah.
Yeah, I watched while I was working on one of the rental homes, and I was cutting through Upper Alton a lot, and I watched this lady get out, and she looked, not trying to shame nobody, but she needed about 4 sizes more fabric on her dress, and she got out of the car.
You was looking.
I was looking because I was impressed.
Which is what she wanted.
The titular strength of this dress was out of this world. Anyway, and then she just starts dancing. Like, she opened the door and, like, her jam came on, and, like, I can't go get a square. I have to dance right now in the parking lot. And I'm like, I almost wrecked.
Sometimes you got to make it happen.
Man, I almost caused a wreck looking at this train wreck. Because I was so like, is this really happening right here? Like, somebody needs to set up a camera just to watch that gas station and all the antics that happen there. Like, right there on
cameras that work on that gas station.
Well, I mean, like across the street, just zoom in. Like that 11-8 bridge, how the guy just has cameras watching trucks. You just need that because it's just going to be one truck wreck after another. And you can make tons of money on this fabulous platform. It's so easy. So. Just filming, because, I mean, look how popular hood chats were. Everybody loved that.
Right.
Well, man, if you could just edit and put your own beat to it. But yeah, she was just just having a ball. What was that summer? It was summertime. Everybody's in a good mood.
Good for her.
Yeah, she just door wouldn't even close. She just had it open. Like, she's right now. We got to dance.
You gotta appreciate that.
It's always been that way, though, man. Up there, that gas station's always been.
I'm old
as
enough.
far as I can remember. It's always been like that.
I'm old enough, man, where it wasn't.
Well, you grew up in Alton, I did.
Yeah. So I mean, I used to walk up there. There was video stores and just mom and pop stuffs. Man, the Chinaman was real good. Just everything up there, man. You used to get 3 tacos for $1. Man, back in the day.
Yeah, right.
Jeez.
We go through and order 90. Just 90 tacos.
Yeah, I don't. I didn't grow up. The oldest I remember is Schwegel's.
Yeah. We used to. I used to hang out with a Schwegel, and we'd get off school. We'd walk to that place, and he would grab a tall can, and I was like, "Well," he's like, "Here, grab a tall can," and we go in the back and hang out.
CarQuest was in that same.
Yep.
I remember that too.
Yeah, I think you can get cell phones and weaves there now.
You can get. There's a Metro PCS there for sure.
Okay, and then Little Caesars, I think, is still there.
Yeah, it's still there.
Yeah.
Where Schwegel's was.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Upper Alton's really, I think like Broadway has all moved to Upper Alton, and they'll need a resurgence, I'm sure, soon too.
Gentrification.
Well, I don't know, man. It's Broadway during COVID, man. I was just walking that dog, and I just never got tired of it, man. I love seeing the river and the boats going and walking around downtown and just looking at the different buildings, I was placing little bets in my head, like when one would get finished. Like,
it's been a slow go, man. This COVID thing is really just threw a wrench in the works.
So, and COVID is not so much like people getting sick, people dying, but like the supply chain of the COVID is really, so, I mean, that's slowed everything. It slowed my projects down. I mean, just, and, your new venture right now, it's just, it's literally slowing. I ordered something the other day that normally would have 24 hours later, and it was 4 days later. Like, everything is slower.
Well, that's because of that tornado.
What tornado?
The Amazon.
No, I was talking about when I ordered cigars from up north.
Oh, well, that was weather.
Still mad. What, UPS trucks can't drive in the snow?
Well, we got the B team.
Not
working,
anymore.
Man. Not the A team. A team felt unappreciated, and they took time off, man. And the B team stepped up, and they're doing, B team stuff, and we're on a B team time frame. So
but no, UPS can't drive in the snow because all the people that are driving trucks are the new guys, and all the new guys are young enough that well, sucking their thumb when it snows and hiding in their house. It's not, no.
So.
They're scared of that weather. They're not like we are. We
got excited.
I couldn't, when I was, you know how many hours I spent in Ponderosa parking lot when I was 19 doing donuts? Hours.
He said Ponderosa.
Right.
Right.
It's not even here now.
Hours.
Not even here anymore.
The Ponderosa in Wood River.
Oh,
They tore it down. That CVS is there now.
Yeah.
I lived in the apartment right behind it, and I parked in their parking lot.
Right.
Because my girlfriend at the time worked there, so it was cool. I parked in the parking lot. They didn't care. And so I didn't have to drive anywhere to do these donuts. I literally just had to back out and start doing donuts. So I backed out and started doing donuts.
Fast forward 20-something years, still doing donuts.
Right, still doing donuts.
Man, I love that snow. That was great.
I don't mind it the day it snows, but it sucks now.
Well, day one up here.
I mean, I'm looking right at the reason it sucks right now. There's an iceberg in the middle of the parking lot. You can't walk because it's melting and refreezing, melting and refreezing, melting and refreezing.
Yeah, we got a couple days though. It'll be fine.
I appreciate it to be able to look outside and see it, and then it's a visual cue like, hey, it's cold outside. When there isn't nothing on the ground and it's sunny out, you're like, it looks great outside, and then you walk outside and you're like, holy shit, it's cold out here.
The first night it snows. The first night after it snows, it's so quiet.
Yeah.
Because the snow is an insulator and it catches sound. It's so quiet and it's bright outside.
Yeah.
And I like that. That's it. Then I'm done.
So I was driving home the other night.
I won't miss it.
And there's a church on the highway, and nothing went through that snow. And the lights from the church were hitting it, and it had gotten wet. It like thawed out a little bit.
It was glistening, yeah.
Man,
had that little bit of ice on top.
Yeah, and it was just the most, and just the way it, like, not the church, but just this beautiful.
Calm.
Man, it was so peaceful looking, man. And and I never even looked at that church. I didn't even know the church was there. I just saw this beautiful, just huge plot of snow that was just shining. But what's nice too about the snow is I haven't hit a pothole in 2 days. It's all filled up right now. Smoothest roads in Illinois when it snows.
Oh, they're gonna be jacked as soon as
they're already getting bad right now.
Yeah.
Every plow has already picked up the asphalt.
Yeah. And they're not going to fix them.
They weren't good to begin with.
No.
Yeah.
Well, we got all those weed sales, so I'm sure they'll get right on that.
In JB's pocket.
Right. Got to get them toilets.
Right.
Got to get them
Gold
toilets.
toilets in one of his hotel houses.
I took a cue from him. I still don't have toilets in my new building. So, thank goodness Max let me use the private bathroom.
Got to keep them taxes down.
I dropped mine. I dropped my commercial taxes in Alton. I'm excited to see what they're going to be. So,
mine jumped up like $4,000 after the first year of me being there. And when you go in to get your loan for your building and stuff, the loan's based upon the taxes that the building's at currently, and then little do you know, as soon as you move in a year later, they're gonna bounce up. So if you're ever in the market and doing something like that, just keep that in mind. That definitely goes up.
Well, let me tell you something. If I come around the corner and stuck you up at gunpoint every day, and you gave me money, then I'm going to keep asking for more and more and more money.
Oh yeah, most definitely. That's
when you're bullied in school, and somebody's taking your lunch money, it's the same thing. You can give it up every day, or you can do something about it. So I'm just not putting toilets in.
You know that, and like I was saying earlier, we don't talk politics. We steer clear of the politics and the COVID because everybody's sick of hearing that shit.
Right. Oh yeah,
any damn way. But just real quick, the Canadian truckers are just. How's that happening in Canada, whatever. How's that happening up there, but it ain't happening here?
I don't know.
At all. I mean, like Canada is full on fighting for America's freedom right now.
Yeah.
It's just weird to me.
Did you watch that grand tour where they're talking about France and how they, when they get mad, they just shut down the highways?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And they get real mad, they just assassinate somebody.
Yeah.
And
then
it's
they go back to work.
Yeah.
I seen something. It may have been a meme online or whatever, but it was about Japanese bus workers on strike. But they didn't strike in the typical manner. They didn't stop driving or anything like that. They drove. They just didn't charge anybody that got on the transit. So it was free transit for everyone, which
Well, I mean, but that makes sense.
that's beneficial to the community, and it
Yeah.
keeps things going,
If
and
they had-
then it gets a point across.
If they had quit driving, then who suffers?
Right.
The person that owns the bus or whatever, whoever they're put, that they don't suffer.
Nope.
Right.
They don't. Sarah's taking that college course,
Right.
and she had to pick a subject. She's taking a liberal arts course,
Right.
which is mandatory,
Right.
which is why I won't take college courses. I would love to take college course. I would love to study to be a lawyer and pass my bar. I think I would excel at it because I like to argue, and
Yeah.
I'm articulate enough. When I get in that mode, I'm articulate enough to argue my point.
I hope you have red hair when you do
Greatly.
this.
Right. But she's taking, but I won't take them because I'm not going to do English. What do I need English for? I don't need that.
To speak.
Liberal arts or man, you've never been in a courtroom with a lawyer before, have you?
Yeah.
Uh,
Plenty of times.
They don't speak. They don't speak any better than I do.
No.
Neither does the judge.
And they don't comb their hair.
It's just what it is it's a way to charge you more money.
Yeah.
It's filler garbage to charge you more
Sure.
money, and they make you have it.
The only thing you
So
really
it
need
ain't
is
got nothing to
history.
do- The only thing you need is what you're going to study, which is law.
Yeah, and the
And
history of
criminal law.
cases.
Sure, the
Yeah.
case studies. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of learning the law.
Yeah.
But anyway, she's taking this liberal thing. She had to do. She had to do this. She had to pick. I don't remember what it was, but she picked the 1992 riots,
Okay.
and she couldn't think of a question to ask. And I was like, "Would they get out of burning down their own community?
Yeah.
Would they get?" It didn't make no
Attention.
sense.
The
It didn't
attention.
make no sense.
Attention.
I said, and so she's like, well, what do you mean? And so I had to explain to her the question because she was going to use it. And I was like, I understand the violence. Get it. I get it. I understand the violence. I support the violence. Well, this country don't listen to nothing but violence. Look
Sure.
at history.
Yeah.
Doesn't listen to nothing but violence.
Right.
So I understand the violence. I back them up. Hell yeah. But why your own community?
Yeah,
They don't care. You're not hurting nobody. You're not hurting them. They don't live there.
well, some of them
Go
do.
to their community
Right.
and be mad.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, how do you get to their community?
Well,
Well,
I mean,
well, if it's the police that you think are the problem, then there's more people than there are police. Don't burn that gas station down.
Right.
well, that movie Gangs of New York. If you watch the end of it, man, they go uptown. They go uptown and they take it to the people that.
Right. One of my
you know,
favorite movies, Daniel Day-Lewis, one of my favorite actors.
They take it uptown to the scammer horns.
Yep.
And they kick in their doors and windows.
Scatter horns or
and-
something
yeah,
like that. Right. Right.
Yep.
Yep.
But it doesn't do any good to destroy your own.
No,
where
not,
you eat.
not at all.
You don't. What do they say? You don't shit where you eat.
Well, and you should, to battle that,
Around here, we say you don't shit too close to the house.
right?
Yeah. All right.
To battle that, you just don't spend money with them.
Right. No. Exactly. Nowadays, it hurts more.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's no repercussion for it. Like.
Right.
But yeah, you go out and do some violent stuff and burn shit down and break it down. There's going to be repercussion and then
Well,
sympathy.
And now you're crazy.
Yeah. And then,
Now you're crazy. Now you're violent. And
Yep.
now your message isn't even getting heard.
Yep. So you just.
But that's just it. It doesn't matter. The public's not who you need to hear the message.
Well,
Who needs to take account? And they take account, man. They pay attention.
Sure.
They take account. You start burning it, even if it's your own neighborhood. You start burning it down, and somebody's looking, going, man. Now, whether or not they're gonna do something about it,
Sure.
that's a different thing. But they're still looking, going, we're getting pretty close. We
we need to look at our situation and fix it.
we need to find another way to screw them psychologically.
Right.
we got to find them a new enemy.
Right.
Because they're not only going to burn their own places down for so long, and then they're going to come to us.
And that's the media's job. The
Oh,
media.
to give them a new enemy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. To get you sidetracked.
Yep.
This is a serious podcast. I don't like it.
Serious.
When we cutting this thing open?
Freaking homeless
I don't know.
Dave here.
About half.
Homeless Dave over here.
Yeah.
Got us talking politics. What the hell,
What do
man?
they call that? Houseless now? It's,
Houselessness?
yeah, houselessness. You gotta,
I ain't homeless. I'm just outside.
Right.
yeah.
You know, it's you're just simple. You know, living in a van down by the river was so terrible, but man, I kind of daydream about it sometimes.
I mean, it's a whole thing now.
It's got its pluses, man. Like,
It's a whole thing.
I just don't know if I want to spend 20 minutes just to get my stove out.
I'm not going to live in a van down by the river, though.
well,
I'm going to live in a van by a beach.
Well, yeah.
either way
Warm
you go,
weather.
you got work. You know what I'm saying? You're either going to play the game and work, or you don't play the game and your work's just different.
Yeah, no matter. I mean, and that's the thing. And I think that there's a huge group of people that don't do the work because they haven't been put to it.
All right, yeah.
So that's why they're, you know, that's what I'm most afraid of is just there's nobody putting in the work. I wanted to rent this space out.
Right.
There was no interest in
Nope.
someone starting their own thing.
Nope. Nobody
Doing
wanted
it.
to do anything.
Nope. It's kind of weird. Like, look how much it changed in a few years from everybody starting their own business to
Everybody's scared, man. Everybody's scared of what ifs.
Yeah.
What if? Well, you know, you live that credo. Like I'm not.
Right.
Like I'm not gonna do that. Like if I die, I'm gonna be like, hey, I did some stuff. Man. Majority of it failed. A good majority of it. Opportunities were real dry. But I went out there and I did what I could do.
I like somebody goes. So they're like, "How many jobs have you had?" And I was like, "I don't know. I have no idea. Why does that matter?"
I don't like authority. I had a lot.
Right.
Right.
Well, you know, and then I took something from every single job.
Yeah.
Right.
And then they're like, "Man, you sell everything." Yeah, because I'm good at selling things.
Right.
You
It's
know?
called hustling.
Right. And it's like, you know how you learn that? When you don't have a job.
Right.
You got to figure something out.
That's what I tell people all the time. I don't care what they do. I'm gonna eat. I promise you, I'll eat.
Yeah, no matter
I
what.
promise you.
Yeah.
No matter what. You know, and that's what you know, and people that aren't like us, they just look and they look at the, you know, like you might have $1 one day and that's it. And they're like, how, you know, what are you going to do? What if this happens? What if that? Man, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Well, we're just going to get up and do the same thing.
There's been several occasions where I looked at my bank account and I'm like, how am I running a business and I got single digits in
Dude.
the account?
I do that every Monday.
Yeah.
Every Monday I'm reminded.
There's free money. That was my problem with keeping a job. Is there's people giving away money.
Oh, sure.
I don't have to put up with your nonsense.
No.
You yelling at me.
Yeah.
Somebody, if I got to push a lawnmower, somebody's gonna give me $20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like,
Doesn't matter what doesn't matter. I can walk down the street and find somebody on the street that will give me money because they don't want to do something that I'm willing to do.
right?
Push a lawnmower, clean some gutters out.
$20, $20.
That's right. $20.
Got to get it how you get it.
Right.
You know, that DNA's got to leave their body somehow.
Right. Milk cows, whatever.
Right. Maybe they don't want to do it. But there's people are literally giving away money everywhere. And if you live in a neighborhood where they're not giving away money, walk to a neighborhood where they are giving away money.
You know,
Right, yeah.
Jeff Mader came and plowed the lot, right? And
He's responsible for that iceberg out there I've been bitching about for 2 days.
he might be. I don't know. Who cares? It'll melt. So, but he pulls up and he goes, "Hey, move these cars. I'll plow your lot." I didn't call him. I didn't say I need somebody to plow the lot. If I were to plow this lot and get rid of all the snow and ice, somebody would assume that this is under new ownership. We don't work that hard here.
I've had this lot plowed every year since I've been here.
Yeah, you have.
So
Yeah, I mean, we have to.
every time it snowed, I have found somebody to come up and clean this lot off.
It's a retirement home, so
Right.
I mean, this is
Right. We can't have Steve and Bob breaking their hips out. here.
Right. I saw Jeff slip yesterday. I felt
Right.
bad.
Oh,
Got a
right.
full bag of salt, and I haven't put any down. And then I beat him in golf, so felt even better. So
He sat over here, and I almost wondered if he was still here. I got up and checked on him.
He was quiet.
Yeah, he was sitting over here being quiet.
yeah, because I whooped his ass in golf.
Oh, he was
Yeah.
sitting over here thinking about it,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah,
Pouting?
yeah.
Sitting over
He
here
was
pouting.
he was thinking about if he's going to get another round and yeah.
So we're being Steve, only quieter.
I think I've beaten him two games in a row. So if he comes in tomorrow, we'll see. We'll see what happens. So
Golden
He's-
tea
he's
crushed
going,
the spirit.
Right.
that's right.
It's the aggravation machine.
I'm going to tell you.
Just stop talking about it before it starts singing.
Right. Jeff and I used to play this online golf. It was like Golf Clash or something. We'd play against each other.
Right.
And in the beginning, I was decent. And then all of a sudden, this dude just started. Dude, I quit playing. I deleted it. No, I'm not playing you no more. It was embarrassing. Like, I'd be, at 10 o'clock at night, I'm laying in bed trying to beat him in golf, and he's just, I'd be on hole 5, and I'd be down 10 strokes. I'm like, bro, I'm done. I'm like, he just killed. So it's nice to get a little revenge, and I think we're probably even up on games here. So I look forward to playing him when he comes in. So
At least you're not betting the dollars out of the. I've been taking them out of the things and putting them in the drawer.
yeah,
So
no, that thing's made more money than I have this month. I go get a coffee and I spend $20 just so I can get some change back, so I can get so I can play Golden Tee when I get in. I played 18 holes this morning. I got here so early. Played 18 holes, and then I moved all the 6 of those cabinets into the trailer. Then freaking.
I actually went to bed early last night because I was really, really tired. And
Right.
I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock because I was told about it Sunday night. So I stayed up watching my cameras till 3 o'clock. Like,
Right.
Come on.
Oh,
You're going to lose a leg, you come tonight.
Right.
Come on. And then I went to bed early last night, and I was just super tired. So,
yeah.
so I woke up at 9. I looked at we got one of them clocks that projects it on the ceiling.
Right.
And I looked up and I went, oh,
Yeah.
3 in the morning.
no, 9:45 this morning. I was like, oh, I got to
yeah.
go.
Well, I take her to
That reminds me.
Ginger's kid turned 16 today, and then so she's still doing driving at the high school. So today was her day to drive. So I got to get her there at 7:20. So I get her there at 7:19 because I don't know why I was running a little behind, but yeah. So I was like, well, I'll just come to work. And then I was like, man, I got enough time. I can play 18 holes real quick. So I was -3. Pretty good. Getting better. What are you doing? Watching cameras now?
Well, I woke somebody up on my way out the door, and I said, get up and go get that OP done right now.
Right.
And I said, I'm going to check the camera in an hour. You better be gone. So,
Is she?
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. So what I learned last night was there's something on that car because she was watching me come down the road. When I was coming down the road, that's what she was doing. She was like looking at her phone. Like, why is she coming down my road right now? This isn't right.
You put like an Apple tag or something on there.
Yeah, my dad couldn't find it. So I need to go looking for it. But he doesn't know what he's looking for. So
Right.
That's some next level shit.
that's
Man.
some next level stalking. Man, back in the day,
Yeah,
you wanted to
dude.
stalk your girlfriend. You had because everybody stalked their
You had
girlfriend.
to, yeah, you had to
You
go.
had to go looking for
Yeah.
her. You had to drive around and know where she went.
You had to call 7 different buildings because
Right.
nobody had a cell phone. Like, so and so there told you to quit calling.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody's done it.
I love you,
once,
boo.
At least, you know what I mean?
Stand outside the minimum wage job.
Right. Everybody's done it at least once.
We
but
just need to talk.
I'm just trying to talk
just
to you,
talk
girl.
to me.
Just trying to talk to you. Sorry.
Oh man! And then we progress to, you leaving by.
Yeah.
Right. See ya.
I'll find 2 more just like you.
Oh man, that won't come across
What?
the phone.
It
ring.
will. It will come across.
Does it?
If you can hear it in these headphones, you'll hear it.
Really?
Yep.
No kidding.
Yep.
We open at noon, folks. Don't
We
call
open-
before then.
So I wanted to say that too. So I walked through the door over there Sunday, over at Lit.
Yeah.
Really nice lounge, really nice people. I walked through the door over there.
Did you put your suit on?
I walked up over there, and I was thinking, I was only 10 minutes early. I was thinking, though, even if the door's unlocked, they'll see me outside to let me in.
Right.
No, it's noon, buddy. And it's like So I said, you mean you guys, your customers don't show up 2 hours early and walk in like they own the place and buy cigars? I said, because that's what they do over there. And they go, no, we open at noon. And I go, yeah, we do too.
Yeah, but you said they had more customers and on a Sunday than we get all week.
They had 7 or 8 people in there before I maybe got a quarter of that Padron down.
Right.
And there were 3 or 4. There were 5 or 6, 7 people actually.
So
already sitting down.
That's why we open 2 hours early, because we need that $7.
Right.
You know, when you got that many people coming every day, you can stick to that noon thing.
I should have walked in their humidor and looked, but I didn't. I seen what I was there for, and I was like, that's what I want.
Yeah, I'm excited to see their new building. I don't know. I think construction starts this month.
Are they moving?
Yeah,
from that spot completely?
Yeah, so they're going to tear down that whole plaza. You've been out to Lit Cigar Lounge?
Have not.
Yeah, it's cool. It's where Topgolf is in Chesterfield. It's on the same service road.
It looks like it's like an outlet mall.
It used to be.
Thing.
Yeah, and all the stores closed. That's where all the mannequins came from. Where the closing down stores. So I went to deliver cigars. I'm supposed to be, this hip cigar brand owner, and then, we delivered a sign. I found that big Snyder sign.
Oh yeah.
And since her last name's Snyder, he wanted it, so I just gave it to him. And so we went. Emily and I went walking around the stores that were open because everything was like 100% off. If you stole it, it was. So we're walking around, and I bought some clothes and whatnot, and so we're buying mannequins. So we
so that's where the mannequins are up the Alton building were.
Yeah,
that's where
they came from. I don't know, Gap or Banana Republic or one of them. So now I'm walking through. Since I had the dolly, now I'm walking through with headless, naked women through the cigar shop because I parked in the back. So
right.
that's everybody's first impression of me is I like naked, headless women.
Right.
And I just got a dolly. Just so happened to have a dolly here, and then they. Somebody goes in the cigar shop and he goes, "Hey, tell that one guy we got more mannequins. Like I have a fetish or something. We're gonna set them out. We got them down to $25."
I only like the best parts.
Dude, I was
I
like,
need some heads.
Right.
Dirty heads.
I was like, man, I don't need more mannequins.
Yeah. I don't get out to St. Louis too much, man. I'm dedicated East Sider. Like I spend my money on this side of the river.
Yep.
I'm a believer that put your money in your community.
Sure.
Like I stick over here, and nothing against anyone over on the other side of the river, but with being in Alton for the period of time that I've been in, like. I try to keep my money over here.
Yeah, but where do you buy mannequins in Alton without heads?
Ooh.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So, I had to...
Sometimes you got to venture out.
Yeah, sometimes you got to go get headless women. Naked headless women. Felt like a weird creep walking through there.
For me, I was trying to buy something, and I had to go to Chesterfield because it was the only person that replied that actually wanted to sell the item that they had for sale on Marketplace.
So I've been thinking about that. So you had the conversation with the guy with PayPal, right? So he's like, "Oh, I got a guy supposed to PayPal me."
And so I sent him pictures of the cash, and I said, "Okay."
Right. So
dummy.
Do you think these younger people are scared of the cash?
So this guy, the guy I actually bought it from, he goes, "You got Venmo?" And I go, "No, dude, I got cash.
Right.
I'm not Venmoing you for something I can drive an hour and pick up."
Right.
That's no.
That's a thing though. They'd rather pay the fees on the transfer. And it's kind of crazy how people don't want cash.
This transaction does not need documentation.
Right, man. I'm buying a used toy from you.
Right, and then there was the weird kid who wanted me to drive down to St. Louis. He was gonna more than willing to sell it to me, but he wanted me to drive down to the Arch Grounds or that area.
Right.
Send him a message, let him know I was there, and then he would come meet me. No, not at all. We are not doing that whatsoever. And he's a little skinny Gen Z dude, so I wasn't worried about that happening.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not worried about that happening. But I'm not driving down there, and then I have to wait for you to see the message because you ain't got a good record of responding to it.
Right.
As it's taking you 15, 20 minutes as it is.
Right.
And I'm not sitting there 20 minutes while I wait for you to look for it, and then waiting for you to come from wherever you are.
Yeah. Oh,
That's not happening.
It's amazing. Like, I sold those cabinets, and the guy's like, hey, just shoot me an invoice and I'll pay it. Man, just call it in. Like, I'll just put your card in the machine. Like, that's about as new school as I want to get,
It just doesn't, I don't know, man. It just...
People are scared of cash.
They don't make any sense. And then there was that one guy that had that one in Carbondale. Yeah. And I was like, dude, I'll be on my way.
Right.
I'm snowed in. I'm driving to you. How are you snowed in?
Yeah, right.
Well, remember the last guy that gave me his address and then he didn't pay me all the way? I ended up going right back to his house.
Right.
Oh, he just tried to hand you a wad of cash?
So we get there, do the deal as a trade, and we were up on the trade anyway. And so I was trading.
Well, kind of.
No, I was up cash-wise.
Oh, yeah.
I was up cash-wise big time. So I was up I was up $3,000 already. So right. I was good. And so I found this guy. He wanted to trade a car, and just for fun, I said, throw in $2,000. And he goes, okay. And I'm like, ooh. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get there, and he's only got 1,000, but he's going to bring me the rest. And he goes, I'll come up, get some cigars, and I'll drive up to you since I didn't have it all in cash.
Never happens.
So, and what do I care? Now I'm up $4,000, and I got something else I wanted. So I don't care, you know. And then Chuck and I had the most scariest drive home in the rain.
I know that one wasn't as scary as.
No, when we were sliding into cars in traffic.
Right.
When we got off one interstate onto the other.
I don't remember where we were going.
We were turning around because somebody left their gun in the car that we just traded off.
Oh, shit.
And we had to go back to get your gun.
Yeah.
Because you left it in the glove box for some reason.
Hoops.
Right.
Yeah.
So we call the guy. We're like, we forgot a gun in there. We'll be right back. And so we get right off on 70, and it's just rush hour. So we're coming down the hill. We have this heavy thing on the trailer. We're driving this old Suburban with no brakes anyway, and then we just slide.
Headlights.
And we're just sliding. Yeah, no headlights. Wipers are bad, and we're sliding and I'm like pumping. There's no ABS, Any 90s Chevy that light's on just to tell you it used to have it. And we slid, and Chuck looks over, and the guy next to him, his eyes are this big because we're just sliding.
Oh yeah, in 70. Yeah, I remember that.
And it's like I'm laughing because it was. I was like, oh, we're hitting somebody, so that's gonna happen.
I still don't think that was as bad as driving in zero visibility in the thunderstorm.
Yeah,
where you could literally see that the highway was a lake. It was raining so hard, the highway was a lake.
What were we pulling? We were pulling the Samurais back.
I don't remember what we were.
Coming back from Indiana or Chicago, but yeah, we.
But it was the headlights on you couldn't see because the headlights sucked anyway on that Suburban. They were terrible. The typical Chevy headlights.
You had to punch them to get them to even come on.
And then they weren't bright. You couldn't see. Dude, I could stand, if it was pitch dark outside, I could stand 2 foot in front of that truck and maybe you'd see me with reflective clothing on.
See, I wasn't driving that.
Terrible.
I wasn't driving that time, so didn't bother me at all.
I was, and I was driving like this.
The window would sometimes not go up. So I think it was cold that day too. For some reason, the window stopped halfway. He was trying to roll the window up. That was a cluster mess. I miss that old Suburban. It's still running right now, I bet.
It is. I know it's still. That was the best running vehicle that ever come through here. Yeah, I miss that Suburban too. I think about it all the time.
You get 5 miles a gallon.
No, it's probably about 8.
It was. I'd say it was 10, loaded or not.
Yeah, because it was a little 350.
Yeah, that's what I would say. 10 loaded or not.
It wouldn't do 40 miles an hour up hills in southern Missouri, but
no,
it would get there.
It would pull you up it though.
Yeah, it would get you there. But yeah, anytime you had to stop on anything besides pavement, dry pavement, it would just push right through. There was no trailer brakes. There was and we traveled the country with this thing. It was the biggest pile, and still never let us down. Except for when the drive shaft came out one time.
It still didn't let us down. It got us where we needed to go.
We knocked it out, put it in four high, and
it was front wheel drive.
Finished drive.
Still got axles.
Yep.
It was front wheel drive.
Miss that old thing.
Well, we only had 5 or 6 miles to go, so it wasn't. About 10 to where we were actually going.
Yeah.
I pulled it. I pulled it off the side of the road, and we drove it up to the next where we were turning off because it would come off right before our exit anyway. And I pulled over and I crawled underneath it to make sure it wasn't bleeding tranny fluid everywhere, and it wasn't. And so I was like, we're going front wheel drive.
That was awesome.
And it did just fine, front wheel drive.
Yep.
It didn't give us a single issue at all.
Nope. We were almost there, though. And it was
then-
all flat right there.
And then I laid underneath it in the cold, beating a drive shaft apart and fixing it, and that was kind of terrible.
Then we got home. What were we, 4 hours away?
Yeah.
Yeah, 4 hours away.
We were in Attica, Indiana.
Yep.
Badlands.
I broke everything.
Nothing like being away from home having issues.
Yeah.
Broke everything. Broke the Suburban. Broke the trail rig.
Yeah.
Broke everything.
Broke everything. I survived the Badlands because I send it all the way. They're like, hey, you probably don't want to do that. And I'm like, no, it'll make it. And then I go rolling down.
I know I have video of that rig hanging off the front of mine with my lights on because I had cop lights and it was an emergency. So it's like I was prepared for this. So I turned them on. But I can't find that video nowhere, and I know there's video of it hanging off the front of my rig.
Right.
From the winch. I know there is.
I've never been, oh, dude, that thing was, we would take these perfectly good vehicles. They were all bale wired together, and then do the dumbest things in the world with them, and then be surprised when they broke. I remember Travis came out of the woods one time, and he had a log for his front wheel.
Yeah.
It snapped his whole wheel off. We strapped a log onto it and drove it out. It was good times. So we're gonna slice open a Undercrown Maduro Bellicoso. That's what Chris and I are smoking.
It's a good smoke.
It is kind of strong for the first one of the day.
Yeah.
I did have breakfast.
I don't mind it. I usually smoke a dark wrapper.
Well, have you ever had one before?
Oh, yeah. It's
Okay.
my second or third go-to.
Hey, real quick, shout out to, what was his name? MJ Frias?
Yeah.
For giving us the idea to cut cigars open by sending us terrible cigars. If you had not sent us terrible cigars, and thanks for subscribing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. It's amazing that you would subscribe, but hey, but had you not sent us terrible cigars, we would have never had this idea.
We haven't smoked them all.
Okay.
We don't know if they're all terrible.
I bet the BBC's good. You want a BBC? You want a BBC? Hinkle,
Hey,
that
man.
seems right up your alley, buddy.
You know, if you're gonna take one, take a big one, and don't be a bitch about it.
$20 is $20.
Right. It's a good motto.
All right, so we cut the. I'm gonna do a little slice down the wrapper.
Oh, you don't want to professionally unroll it?
No. Just like everything else here.
I mean, you don't want.
We're gonna mutilate it.
You don't want to stroke your beard and professionally unroll it and discuss it thoroughly and name each and every single. That's not what we do here, Mark. It's not what we do.
It's almost like a durability test. Like, how tough is the cigar?
Well,
Because there's some that you pull out of the package and you even pinch and the wrapper cracks. And
So Mark, while you're cutting it open there
Yeah.
before you get to the meat, Mark was telling me that newspaper is an industry standard
yeah, that's what he
for
said.
when they ship them.
Isn't that something?
So I don't know if that's true or not.
I'm sure it is.
Mark seems knowledgeable.
Mark's got more knowledge than we'll ever have
Mark
about this
seems
industry.
really, really knowledgeable.
About this industry.
About too knowledgeable, really.
You think so?
He comes off kind of uppity,
Think he's
when he
kind of
does
snotty?
and then you see him in person, and you're like, dude, stop.
I was gonna say he wears too many dick skins.
Right. Well, definitely. I think that's what does it. I think the dick skins are so tight. They're so tight on him.
You think it's cutting off some
Yeah,
circulation?
there's some circulation
the,
issues
the,
there.
com-
with
the
Mark.
common sense circulation.
A little bit.
I'm wearing my dick skin pants right now.
We need to have Mark back on.
Yeah, I love Mark. All right.
We need to have Mark back on.
Look at
We
that.
need more video of Hodge crashing and burning on the one wheel because that
Can we talk about how viral that
was
went?
super popular for a little while.
Yeah, and people wanted shirts that said, "God damn it, Hodge." Did you see the outpouring for that?
I did. I seen it.
Oh man,
I seen how many comments were just that too.
Yeah, I didn't know that I could ever go viral, but my voice did. So, look at this construction, little cigar glue right there, holding it on.
What is cigar glue?
Cigar glue is like a vegetable grade glycerin VG,
Oh,
and I have a
might as well be vaping.
I have a bag of it and stored over there, and it's just and it's raw, so it's just powder, right? And you mix it with a little distilled water, and it gets pasty, and then
So we were having a discussion yesterday watching this movie. We watched this movie called Wave,
yeah,
and a good movie, by the way.
right.
Killer. It was better than the movie we watched before it, which me and Hinkle just ripped to shreds the whole time it was on, MTSK style, but they so it brought up a question to me. So in all the movies where they're snorting, where they're Hoover and Schneef,
Right.
I don't want to say it. I don't want YouTube to get mad. So all
Right,
the movies
right.
where they're Hoover and Schneef,
Right.
what are they actually hoovering? So now I wonder. So now I wonder if it might be that because that glycerin's harmless, right?
Yeah.
And it comes in a powder.
So when we first opened, I was jacking around with rolling cigars, right? And I was just playing with it, and so I had a big bag of the cigar glue in powder form, and I had it. It's probably a gallon-sized bag. I still have it, and I kept it under there. So one of the East Alton detectives was in getting cigars, and I go, "Hey, you want to see something cool?" And he goes, "Yeah, man. What you got?" And so I opened it up, and he's like just the change was instant. The change was so instant. Oh,
He went from cigar customer to cop.
right.
Like that.
Oh, it was. I'm kidding. I had to show him the label.
So you have this. Wait a minute. You have this big bag of white powder.
Yes.
That's vegetable glycerin.
Yeah.
Right.
It's yeah.
Right. You have this big bag of white powder, and
Right.
I don't think I know anybody who can recite Scarface almost word for word. But there's not a picture of you with this big bag of white powder poured out, sitting at a desk or a table somewhere.
Well, it's because I'm trying to change my image.
I think that
Sometimes you
seems
gotta
like
peel that onion.
seems like Instagram worthy though. I think that seems like
I just try to not keep those rumors going.
And you don't want people looking at you all the time.
Right. And if you ask around town, people will say Mike's a good guy.
that reminds me. I had a cop actually tell me the other night when I was talking to him about this whole ordeal.
Right.
It's not what you know, it's what you can prove. And I didn't think about it until afterwards, but I was like, okay. All right, that's me.
Yeah, but
All right.
they'll run it into the ground trying to prove it.
Fair
we
enough.
We know
Fair
that.
enough. What's his name? Denzel Washington. Fair enough, Denzel. It's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Was he
Yeah.
quoting Training Day?
I don't think he did it on purpose. I think it just came out that way. But like it didn't register with me right away
Right.
because in my brain I'm like, man, you know how much nonsense I've sat in jail on that they couldn't prove?
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I got out, never actually got charged, but I still sat.
Well, that's where
That's why we're all sitting together right now.
Right.
right. All right. Finally, we're.
I
through
was
the
telling him
binder.
that too. I was like, so I was telling him, I was like, listen, you need to stop her because if you don't, I'm going to. Don't make me not be a citizen no more. And then, and he goes, well, you don't want to do that. And I go, I don't know. I said, they still got that Mastachali on Thursdays? And he just laughs at me and he goes, man, I don't know, I've never been on that side. And I go, because that Mastachali was actually kind of good. So,
That moldy baloney.
Mastachali was all right.
I noticed that didn't crush up into dust.
It didn't.
The last one we cut apart did.
Yeah.
We
So
cut them apart in
well,
pieces.
and you're talking about a $2 cigar versus like a $10, $11 cigar,
See,
right?
that's why I wanted to cut apart the punch. 'Cause
Well,
it was a $5.
We'll
It was a
we'll do
step
that.
up.
We'll do that one next week. We'll go low grade, high grade, and then somewhere in the middle.
If you want to see us cut up a Padron, you have to send it in. We are not cutting up a
Because I
Padron.
am too broke to buy Padrones right now.
An Oliva maybe, but not a Padron.
So this is the bunch together. So well constructed too. So we have our wrapper, which is our pretty leaf, the binder that held all the bunching together, and then the filler here is just fantastic.
It looks well compressed.
It smoked great.
That last cigar
Yeah.
just crumbled into dust,
Yeah.
basically, man. It was terrible. Terrible. Again, shout out to MJ Frias.
Like and subscribe.
He did. He did like and
Look at
subscribe.
that. It just unrolls nice.
So what's that? Do you know what the what the each leaf is?
Oh no, I'm not that smart.
So,
You know, if it's a
tell
Seiko
us
or-
in the comments, Mark.
Right, Mark will get on, so he'll I'm sure I could look it up and put it in there. Look how that was just bunched. You know, that's
It's
all.
nice.
It's all long filler. It's just beautiful. I mean, that's the length of the cigar. Look at, I mean, they're all the same length.
And that's just a rando out of the box.
Yeah, it's just every.
Yeah, everyone's like that. The one you're smoking's like that.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's, you know, and so that's the whole, like what we were talking about last week was, you know, what the difference is in, you know, cheap little cigars. And, you know, when you go in and you get a $4 cigar and you wonder why the ash falls off every 10 seconds, well, it's because that's where the tobacco ends.
Man,
Oh.
that's all the way through.
Yeah, all the way through.
Like that little nub that I smoked at, a little Olivia,
Oh, yeah.
that little one,
Believe it.
that held the entire ash. It held the entire ash.
Look at this.
That's a
beauty.
whole leaf.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, just look at that compared to the confetti I had last week.
The mess we had to clean up last week.
Yeah, thanks for cleaning it up.
You
That was
got
a whole
minimal
mess.
scrap even.
Right. Right. Dude,
Just a beauty.
The end of that cigar was exploded last week. It was nasty. It was terrible.
Let's roll that back up and smoke it.
Right. I mean, what's fun is you could literally take that, shove it in a pipe, and smoke it. I'm going to roll it back up. If you stayed watching
No,
this.
you can't. You can't roll it back up.
Sure, I can.
Listen, you've got the name of the podcast on your shirt.
You're right. My bad.
Can't roll it back. This isn't unrolled then re-rolled. That's not how this works.
Such a beauty.
Yeah.
You ain't got no social medias?
Yeah, he kind of
You got
does.
social medias?
I
Hinkle?
do. It floats around a little bit. It's,
I think I've got you on Facebook, but you never post nothing.
Yeah.
You don't want to anyway. You should see what I've been doing to a customer that just added me.
I pay attention. I look, but I don't.
Would you say you lurk?
Yeah, a little bit.
Lurker.
A little bit. Not creepily, but I like to know what's going on or supposedly going on. That way I'm just not blindsided with whatever. But other than that, man, I really don't feel the need to put any of my stuff out there. I'm from an older school to where, you know, you don't want to be seen. You don't want your pictures out there. You don't any of that. Like if you got to do some stuff, you got to do some stuff, and it's good that, you know, not everybody and their mom knows you.
Right.
And
Right.
So even doing this for me is kind of a big deal for me.
I was kind of
Like,
surprised when you agreed.
yeah, no, like I said, I'm trying to peel my onion of certain things that I need to improve on and do things that are outside of my comfort zone. So
But 100 views, you know, it's a good step.
Well, you're gonna write.
baby steps, baby steps. You
Yeah,
know,
all 91 subscribers.
Right. Yeah.
All 91.
doing the what about Bob, you know, baby steps.
Right.
Babies. I love that movie. Such an underrated movie. It is such an underrated movie.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of, not really speaking of, but you mentioned Bill Murray, so that reminds me of Dan Aykroyd. Dan
Yeah.
Aykroyd is nuts. He's crazy as can be.
Yeah.
He's crazy. He's so what was Joe Rogan's problems, right?
Right.
So I'm not a big podcast guy. So, but I went and I got Spotify, and I went because I feel like I need to offset. At least one. At least one, right? All this nonsense. I hate cancel culture so much
Right.
So I went and got Spotify and I subscribed to his channel. So he's got at least one more. He says so somebody can at least go, well, he lost all these, but he's gaining at least one. Right. I'm sure I'm not the only one.
You're making a difference.
I'm sure I'm not the only one. But I've been watching the ones with people that, like I watched DLR, David Lee Roth.
Right.
I watched that one. And I mainly watched that one because I wanted to see if he could go 2.5 hours and not mention. Because I know the other guy can't go 10 minutes without screaming his name and being mad about it.
Right.
So I wanted to see, in 2.5 hours. David Lee Roth is kind of a crazy dude, too.
Well,
So really smart. Really, really smart. And I was surprised at how intelligent and how active and how I was really surprised by it. Yeah, extremely eccentric.
Yeah.
But Dan Aykroyd, too. Dan Aykroyd's got his own tequila
yeah.
that he pours over or vodka that he pours over diamonds,
Okay.
right? And
If
it's not not that expensive. It's like a Crystal Skull vodka,
Right.
and he pours it over. But he is paranormal. He believes it.
Yeah.
Bigfoot. He believes that. He believes all of it. Like
Think
man, that's all real.
Do you think that's from the Ghostbusters days?
Nah, he believes in aliens. He believes, which I believe in aliens too.
Oh, you got to believe in aliens.
But he believes like full-heartedly. He believes in all this stuff, and he's kind of crazy, out of his mind with it. But he's really articulate about it too.
Right.
So.
How selfish are you if you think you're the?
Oh yeah.
I mean, come on. You think nothing else is out there?
Right.
I mean,
right.
That's insane to think that.
So that's why we watched that movie Mission to Mars yesterday. That's the one we tore apart.
Yeah.
And it's actually a decent movie. It wasn't all that bad.
Right.
There was just some stupid things in it that were just like, come on, man, why'd you do that? You didn't have to. You didn't have to do Don Cheadle like that.
Right.
I mean, cool.
Oh, that's the one you guys started when I left.
Yeah, I seen it coming too. I told Hinkle before it happened. I was like, dude, he's gonna pop out of here all wild maned out. Watch.
There's definitely some spots that
You didn't have to do Don Cheadle like that at all.
Right.
And then you didn't have to do Tim Robbins like that either, man. That's kind of screwed up. But that's what gave me the idea to watch it was they were talking about it on there, and Dan Aykroyd said it was a really good movie. And I don't know about you, but if a Blues Brother tells me something's a really good movie, I should check it out, right? Yeah. I mean, don't you agree?
Yeah.
He's a Blues Brother,
Right.
yeah. So I checked it out.
On a mission from God.
Right. But they still do that apparently. Him and the brother John Belushi.
Yeah.
They still tour and do the Blue Brothers thing.
Jim.
Jim. Yeah, that's right. John's right. They still tour and do the Blues Brother thing.
Nice.
So
That's got to be fun, man.
I thought that was kind of cool too.
Yeah.
So they were talking about that movie, and they were like, and Rogan was like, it's one of the movies where it's not really a movie; it's an experience. Like you watch it and you feel grateful that you got to watch this movie. And when they said it, I never thought about it that way. When they said it, I was like, oh, yeah, he's right. You're kind of like when you watch that movie, you're like, man, I'm glad that they made this.
Really?
I'm really glad they made this movie.
I don't think I've ever felt that way about any movie.
Maybe because you don't really watch.
I don't, and I definitely don't retain.
So, like, I watch movies for stories.
Right.
I don't watch movies for. I mean, they're entertaining because they're good stories to me. But I don't like slasher flicks because they're not good stories.
Right.
And I will watch the strangest thing. Like one of my favorite movies is called Wrist Cutters: A Love Story.
Oh yeah.
And have you seen it?
Yeah.
And it's a weird, strange, artsy kind of movie. And you really wouldn't expect a guy like me to really, really like that movie. Right. Love that movie. It's such a good story. From beginning to end, it's just an awesome story. And every character has an awesome part in it. It's just a really, really good story.
Was that Eternal Sunshine movie?
Yeah, that's another one. That's a really, really good story.
I think the last movie that impacted me was Boys in the Hood. Ricky!
And I like movies that are quote like Talladega Nights.
Oh well, yeah.
Like if you can make a movie where you quote every single scene, you won.
Man,
you won.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Step Brothers. Yeah. I like those movies too, but I watch a lot of like kind of artsy, kind of movies that just because they're really, really good stories.
I make you think about certain things. You know what I'm saying? Give you a different insight on some stuff.
Well, that's what I was saying about Doom Patrol last week. Doom Patrol is introspective. And it comes and it's entertaining. It's funny and it's entertaining. But while you're watching it, I don't know if they did it on purpose. They had to have. But while you're watching it, you're like, man, I'm dealing with a lot of
everybody got flaws, man.
too, you know?
And
it kind of makes you look inside yourself,
Yeah.
though, man. It's I don't know.
No matter where you're at, what you are, everybody got flaws.
Camera's the wrong direction there, bud.
I know.
Good job.
Chief.
You
Good
don't
job. It's your
don't be
first day
afraid
operating the phone.
to show them. You know,
Right.
It is
Right.
what
Well,
it is.
have you seen Doom Patrol?
Yeah, I've caught a couple.
So you know what I'm
yeah.
talking about. Then
Yeah.
everybody, the whole show is everybody talking about. They're all dealing with their own personal. They're not really fighting villains. I mean, they
No.
are, but they're
Fighting their own demons.
They're fighting their own demons. And so when you're watching it, for me, it made me like reflect a little. I was like caught up in it because I was like, man, you know, made me think about what I've got going on a little bit too. And like I said, I don't know if they did it on purpose, but
I'm sure it's part of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just, I don't know. There's so much going on in the world now that a little introspection from everybody would be awesome.
a whole lot better. A whole lot better.
Awesome. You know what I'm saying? And
Whole
you
lot
know,
better.
don't be afraid to let your faults out. You know, at least it shows that you're trying and
Right.
you're attempting. You know what I'm saying? So
But I like shows like that, though. I like shows and I like movies like that that are just they tell a really good story, and even though you kind of develop like a personal thing for them while you're watching them.
yeah.
So I'm a big fan of stories. I'm not a big fan of
You got to be able to relate to it a little bit. You know.
right
I just like car explosions.
VFX car explosions.
Yeah, VFX car explosions. That's my favorite.
have you ever watched any B movies, Hinkle?
I do. Yeah.
I've been on this B movie kick,
Yeah.
like because they're free on Prime.
Right,
You've got
right,
an
yeah.
Amazon Prime account and a Fire Stick.
You
they're
got to
free.
be careful what you pick on
Right,
because your
right.
whole feed changes at that point. Like you'll be like, "What?
I'm
is
okay with it.
This, bro."
So
Like,
have you seen Lamageddon?
I have not. I've heard you guys speak on it.
Lamageddon's awesome, man. You gotta watch it.
If I wasn't so busy and I had a little bit of time, I was hoping maybe one of these weekends I come in here and you're not tired of watching it. Maybe
Next
we can
Monday,
pick it
man.
up
Next
here,
Monday.
so-
We'll watch Lamageddon and Velocipaster
Cool.
next Monday. Just remind me.
No, well, yeah,
you guys see
I'm down.
Velocipaster too.
Yeah.
Velocipaster is so terrible.
Well, that's the VFX
So
car
terrible.
explosion.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the movie, right? He comes outside and his parents, for whatever weird reason, they're just across the street. And oh, hey, mom and dad, and he waves at them. It's real cheesy, right? And then they walk towards this car. They're leaving. They're not even gonna come over and talk to this dude. They're just leaving. It's just the weirdest scene ever. And then it pans back on him, and you hear a car explosion. And then it pans back over to where they were, and it's just on the screen. It says VFX car explosion. There's no car. There's no nothing.
It's just an empty parking spot.
Right. VFX car explosion.
They do a Wile E. Coyote burnt mark on
Right?
their
No, they didn't
No,
even
they
put
didn't
that
even
much
do
in.
that. They didn't
Yeah.
even do that.
No, it's just an empty lot.
He's and then this makes him go travel the world or whatever. I'm not real sure where that comes in, but he goes and they show him walking through woods, and he comes out to the other side of some trees, and he just goes, China.
Dude, it's like he walked to China.
Right, it walked to China.
From somewhere.
And then have you ever seen Cannibal the Musical?
Yes, I have. Yeah.
So you remember the part where they find the Indians?
Yeah.
And they're going, and they don't actually do this bit, but it's kind of this bit, and they go, no, we are Indians. Do you not see all these teepees?
Oh no.
You remember that part in Cannibal?
Yeah.
And the guy repeats it like 3 times. No, see all the teepees? We are Indians. And they're clearly Chinese people, and they're doing kung fu and stuff in the background, but they're like, we are Indians. We have all these teepees.
Oh.
But they do kind of a scene like that where there's all this kung fu stuff around, and so they're like, no, we're Asian. Do you not see? Like it's an insinuation back
Trying
to
to
that.
sell
It's
it,
like the
yeah.
same scene, right? It's great. That's just one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. It's just so entertaining to watch.
What's up for next week? No, we don't have anybody yet.
We're gonna cut a cigar up, and
We're
I
gonna-
know, and you're almost out of friends.
No, yeah, getting close.
So you're almost out of friends.
I got more speakers than friends.
We need Cade. But Cade's
yeah.
so busy.
He
I don't
is.
know.
I try to
don't
get
know
him
where
on here.
Cade
He wants
is.
to come on, but he's busy.
I don't know if now Hinkle, you got to get on the one wheel. You've been on the podcast.
Oh,
You got to get on the
man.
one wheel.
I don't have low enough center of gravity, man. I'm way too
We
tall.
need to
be-
start recording that for extras. Everybody getting on the one wheel.
I'm 46. I got into longboarding for a little while, and man, last time I ate it, they make concrete way harder than what they used to, man.
Much harder. That's I'll vouch for that. Asphalt too, man.
Yeah.
And rocks are way pointier than they used to be too.
Yeah.
Way pointier.
I used to rebound quick, man. When I was younger, I hit the ground and almost
Right back up.
didn't even
Well,
touch the ground. It was
right.
like I just kind of skipped off of it, bounced back up, grabbed the board, and back at it. And man, last time I just kind of laid there for a second. I was like,
I
man,
still
what am I
rebound
doing?
pretty quick.
I wiped out the bicycle one time and went over the bars, landed flat, tried to hop.
Flat's the worst.
Yeah,
It's
tried to hop-
smack and stick.
Tried to hop back up, and gravity was so strong. Like, I couldn't get up. I had to sit there for a minute, and I was just laying there, like, looking at the sky. And so, the other cyclists come over, and you're like, hey, you okay? And I'm like, yeah, I just can't get up right now. I don't know what's going on.
I'm gonna need a minute.
Like, you Supermaned over that whole thing.
It's almost as if Mark knows we were talking about him. I just got a weird picture of him with his dick skin on.
Yeah, he just texted me, too.
It's almost as if he knows we're talking about
Yeah.
him.
Ears are burning.
This is not live,
Right.
so he just knows what kind of people we are, I guess. I still rebound rather quickly. The next day, the rebound's over. The next day, I'm just like, oh,
He did.
Like, my shoulder's been popping for 3 weeks.
He's been, so all the burn marks are him trying to learn tricks and whatnot. And I
You've been
watched
putting
him.
in work.
Yeah, I watched him wipe
Tearing
out.
up the carpet.
Yeah, I watched him wipe out time and time and time. And he's kind of walking a little bit different, and then the next day he's just limping. So
I limped for a week.
Yeah,
I hurt for a week after that. Just muscle soreness mostly, but
yeah, because you're jumping a lot.
right.
I was up and down that ladder all night last night, putting those ducks in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Last night?
Yeah, I worked until.
Oh, you finished it
Getting your
last night?
steps in.
Yeah, I was getting man, and I always lead with one foot, so this one's so tight.
You
right
get them
now.
all in?
No, I don't know, I got like 3 left. So
Ceiling work.
right, I'm gonna work on it next week. I got scaffolding though. I got some bakers, so that makes it a lot easier.
Yeah,
So-
once you get up there, the whole pivoting around the pole and all that's a bitch.
Man,
but-
I was on the ladder.
What are we talking about here? Are we talking
Right.
about
yeah, my bad.
we talking about
you
your
know.
side hustle down in Brooklyn, or are we talking about
Hey, $20 is $20,
duck
That's
workers,
right.
man?
Yeah.
Well, hopefully you're making more than $20.
Well,
You're a bad
times is hard, bro.
You're a bad stripper if you only make $20.
Hey,
Yeah.
he just said the B team's out, so
B team's out.
he ain't getting A team tips. He's getting B team
He's
tips.
getting B team tips.
I put mediocre work in too,
Least-
man.
least
Oh
you're
yeah,
just
it's
getting
B
the
team
tip.
B team quality.
At least you're just getting the tip still.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the problem. You're just getting the tip.
I,
You make more money if you take the whole thing instead of just the tip.
yeah, like I
this-
said, man, go big, go home.
I like how this ended. How it should, how they all are.
Right.
Yeah, just complete rhetoric.
Yeah.
Right.
We done?
We're approaching time.
Yeah.
So we probably got about 8 minutes left.
Nice.
So, what's the little thing you up there doing?
It's fine.
It's bread.
Yeah, it's red. We're good. So Hinkle has Grand Piasa tattoo. If you want a quality, never needed touched up tattoo. How many tattoos do you even do? Not very many.
Anymore with trying to get this new venture off the ground, I kind of stepped back a little bit and just kind of let all the rest of the workers there take over.
You got some good artists in there too.
Yeah, I got a real good crew, man. Everybody there puts in work. They're about it, and
Isn't that nice, man? You just opened up and first right off the bat, perfect crew. I'm kidding.
no, I've went through. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
Like
sure.
it's taken every bit of 10 years.
Yeah.
Like just to get to where it's at now.
Look at all the
and
dudes that you started with, and,
Right.
and it's like
lessons learned, man.
Yeah.
Like everything.
Anybody I know?
probably
Well,
small
I
town.
can answer that question.
Yeah,
small town. Yeah. But I try not to be negative about it. Everything's learning experience. Take a little bit from everything. My new venture, Howler Tone Works. Hopefully that'll get off the ground sometime this year. I'm really putting in work trying to get it to go. But
Say the name again.
Howler Tone Works.
Howlard?
Howler.
Howler.
Yeah, like you howl.
Oh,
Yeah. Howler.
That's what I do to my girlfriend every night. Try to holler at her.
Man, you know, that's the goal.
Right. And you guys are building amps and
Repair, guitar repair, amp repair. Hopefully, we're going to get into this manufacturing. I got a few tools that still need to come in. It's just,
shop's looking good.
So are you learning
getting
about
out there.
circuitry and
Yeah, I am. I'm doing online electronics courses. I got a mentor, Jim Farrell. I want to give a shout out to him. Without that dude,
He's
I
watching.
probably wouldn't be as far as I am. He definitely helps out a lot.
because I need somebody that's really really good with circuitry
Yeah.
that understands it.
To
Well,
reverse engineer something?
Modern circuitry is a little different because you get into a lot of surface mount stuff, and that stuff is basically disposable, man. Like a lot of the guitar amps and stuff like that, especially the tube-driven stuff, that stuff was actually engineered and built to be repaired, so you can work on it.
Well, I know there's going to be a market coming really really soon for repairing circuit boards.
I can, we'll talk off air, but
There's gonna be I'm telling you, there's gonna be a market really really soon, and so I'm kind of picking. I got a guy, but he doesn't answer messages very often, and I don't know if he's good enough for what I need.
We can definitely
So-
check it out, man, and I can tell you what I can do and what I can't do, and we can
Well, even
definitely
if your
look into
guy
it.
can do it,
Yeah.
there's gonna be probably not a whole lot of money, but if if it's something he does, he'll be able to add it to his
and it would be one of the few in this country.
the only.
Yeah, one of the
Nobody
few.
is repairing those things.
Somebody
They're
is.
replacing them.
Somebody's digging
Nope.
in currently.
When I asked about it publicly, I got laughed at.
Well, we'll talk about it. So I used to send my car amps to a guy that would do
Right.
PCB repair,
I got a guy that does car amps.
but he would take the printed circuit boards and backwards trace them and make sure all the connections are good, and then repair them.
I got a guy that does that, but I don't. This is different because in a car amp, there's no software involved. There's software involved,
Yeah.
and so I don't know how.
It's a little bit different
I
game.
don't know how software is stored. I'm sure it's just on a piece of memory,
Yeah.
and it just accesses it. It accesses that. I'm sure that's how it works, but I don't exactly know how it works. I don't know anything about electronic boards. So I don't know anything about it. I can look and tell you if that's a capacitor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's it.
Because that's what I break off whenever I'm messing with it.
Right.
Right.
Right. I can tell you what I just broke.
It's like, so Grand Piasa is on Broadway in Alton, one of the most beautiful buildings downtown.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Dude. You're
Beautiful building, ugly guy.
You got to put it where it makes money, man. Like,
And this ain't making no money.
and then Howlard. Did I say it right?
Howler.
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 He's never going to get it right.
Yeah.
He's
I
never
feel
gonna
like
get it
I'm
right.
foreign.
Just stop.
Trying to learn
Like the
new-
howling, but
Howler.
I forgot the last part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Tone
let's-
works.
Howler Tone Works.
Howler Tone Works.
Nailed it the first time I said it.
Nice.
Howler Tone Works.
Good job, buddy. I'm just over here trying to learn English.
I'm just,
They said podcasts help with English.
It's an educational
Not at all.
podcast.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
at all.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we try to teach something. We tore a cigar apart. We did not talk about it at all, except for the fact that it's long filler, but we tore it apart.
Well, I mean, it was nothing really to talk about. It was beautifully constructed. It unrolled flawlessly.
Yeah.
And
I
that's
mean-
what you get for your money with an undercrown.
Right.
That's what you get.
I mean, just a real beauty. It's not a podcast unless I hit this thing. So
Everyone. Hey, we're going to end right now. What's
Okay.
your socials? Socials, Hinkle?
Piasa Body Art at Facebook.com. We got a website, www.piesalbodyart.com. Howler doesn't have anything yet. I am in the midst of working on that, but
We got a girl.
yeah.
We
Yep.
got a girl for you.
yeah, I watched that.
She'll take care of
she
your social
seemed
media.
really awesome.
She's really, really good.
Yeah.
Yep.
She's fun. I like her. She's fun. She's a good
I
time.
wouldn't mind having a conversation about it and see what's up, where we're at, and what
she
we
will
can
be
do,
there
so.
Wednesday at 4
Beware.
down there.
Oh, okay.
Because she'll watch this and then
Yeah.
drive
there.
straight
Well,
down there.
no, she watches it. She'll watch it tonight.
Oh, she gets a
Yeah.
headshot.
Well, yeah, because she edits the wording and
Oh
stuff.
yeah.
And then she goes through and checks to make sure how many times we said the F word, so that she can complain to me. So that she can complain to me in text about it.
I'm sorry, Sarah. I said it once.
So but she's been having she's got something going on. So
Right on.
like I talk to her on text. Well, every time I drop one, I talk to her.
Right.
I text her and let her know it's coming. So
I'm definitely down for a conversation, man. I'm not opposed to anything. I'll definitely hear it out and see what's up. And
she's
if
good.
it-
So she's taking. So I watch our analytics, even though you're not supposed to. I watch our analytics, and before she started doing the hashtags and all on the YouTube,
And
before
some,
she
some
started
pinging too.
right before she started doing it, like our searches, our YouTube searches and Google searches were like down here, and now they're up here because
Oh,
she's
right
doing
on.
it now. So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're not really getting any more viewers or nothing, but we're coming up more.
Well, when
You
we
know
had
what I
the
mean?
ape in here, that was well viewed.
Yeah, most of those were outside sources, which means Facebook links.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the things we're bad at.
What they say,
But,
if it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Yeah.
well, this doesn't make dollars or cents, either one.
No.
So
Still in the
all
hole.
right. That was episode 11.
Yep. Episode 11.
Episode 11.
Like, share. Give us.
Please like, please
Yeah.
share, please comment.
Yeah.
All these things help us.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thanks, Leo, for always doing your part, bro.
That's right.
I'll call you in a minute.
Well, thanks for having me on, guys, man. I appreciate it.
Hey, you're low key a real mentor to all of us.
Oh,
So
appreciate it.
Well, the mic anyway.
Well, yeah, to business owners.
I have no desire to look like I'm homeless. All right, we're out.
All right, done.
We're out. One whole episode without Mike getting up.
Whoa!
We're done.
I should have left.
Right.
Oh.